morning, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the Nothing But Nets Leadership Summit. My name is Rama Ly, and I am one of the 300,000 grassroots supporters of this summit. Like many of you sitting here today, I took a chance one day to ask one simple question. What can I do to join the fight to defeat malaria? I was raised in a vibrant community, surrounded by a strong culture, a proud people, and a loving family from my homeland of Senegal. Life for Senegalese people is a daily struggle, and though people don't have much, they are very, very generous. Malaria is endemic throughout Senegal, and 100% of the population is at risk for the disease. I remember when I was a child living in Senegal, I was fortunate to have a bed net in my home growing up in a time where there was little education about malaria and bed nets. My cousin, on the other hand, was not as fortunate and contracted malaria. I remember being 11 years old, going to the hospital with my family to visit her, and wondering what would happen to her, being puzzled about what was going on. But thankfully, she made it. She survived. Years later, I learned what a tremendous experience that impact would have on my life. Soon after, my single mother, Anna Sidibe, came to the United States as a refugee with one goal in mind, to bring all 6 of her children to join her in the United States for a better life and opportunity. She reached out to Catholic and Muslim relief services, to local media, and even caught the attention of Senator Jack Reed of Rhode Island. Senator Reed was moved by my mother's ambition and used his office to weave our paperwork through the Senegalese government along with the US Immigration and Refugee Bureaus. 3 years later, my siblings and I were reunited with my mother. We resettled in Woonsocket, Rhode Island, which was a change, a very cold change. Afterwards, when I learned about the states and everything, I'm like, Mom, Providence, Rhode Island, what about Florida? And, Hawaii, like, we came from the tropics, So my daily life growing up in the United States consisted of 2 things that I believe most immigrants and refugees will understand well. One is work and school. I am proud to say that I am currently a medical laboratory scientist working for one of the top hospitals in the nation, the Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. And one of my passion projects is conducting research on the eradication progress of malaria in Senegal with the coordinator of Senegal. So beside work and research, one of the way I defeat malaria is through the arts of dance and music. In 2005, my younger sister Aisha and I co-founded a group at the University of URI and Rhode Island College called Alima International Dance Association. 4 years later, the group expanded to the University of Connecticut under Carly Olson. The group celebrated its 12th year anniversary. Every year in the month of March, we have an event called Rhythm of the Soul. Our members coming from all backgrounds of life use dance as a form of healing, as a way to forget about the pain of families torn apart and of disease. In our dance, we try to move in the same direction to show our commonality, our solidarity, which is the rhythmic beats of our souls. I joined Nothing But Nets because I wanted to give back to the land of Senegal where I was raised. When I joined this campaign, I learned how to be an advocate for a cause I am deeply passionate about. I had the chance to meet with Senator Reed's office and to tell them that the little girl in the article that he helped find a safe home was now thriving and fighting to keep women and children safe from malaria. Advocating to government officials has made me feel like I can provide a voice for those who are silenced by this treatable and preventable disease. I visited Senegal last March for my traditional wedding. I know. I'm off the market, guys. Thank you. Even during such a momentous occasion, I am still paying attention to malaria. Every house that I visited had a bed net in it. And I also noticed that people are using bed nets correctly. And also women are more involved in the health aspects of their children. And we know that, and since in Senegal, women are the ones who are doing most of the raising of children, we know that if women are better educated about malaria, then they can take greater care of their family members. Last March, Senegal launched its first universal insecticide-treated bed net campaign, and will distribute over 8 million long-lasting insecticide-treated bed nets nationwide in partnership with the President Malaria Initiative and the Global Fund. This gives me a great deal of hope. And this year, I am joined by my 11-year-old niece, Anna, in the summit. She's inspired by the work of Nothing But Nets and decided, with the help of her teachers at her elementary school, to do malaria presentations. And now, as a middle schooler, she's also following the same work there with the help of her principal at Woonsocket Middle School. The passion of youth to help us end malaria for good gives me even greater hope. I know personally, as a global citizen, that the US is viewed as a leader of the free world. We have a great nation with great influence, opportunity, and responsibility. I want to thank each and every one of you for taking part in our shared work to end malaria for good. And like the mosquito that does not discriminate on its host, we must not neglect our duty to help our fellow human beings. Let us remember that we are one human race, one people, one world. I now have the pleasure to introduce the UN Foundation Vice President for Public Policy and Advocacy, Mr. Peter Yo. Please welcome me and help me.